Hello peoples, this is Sonic732, and $5 says the ad you just watched was about the new Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods coming to theaters soon. Okay, I'm gonna watch the movie, guys. You don't need to tell me about it. And it's Dragon Ball Z for a One Piece video. Either way, don't forget about that. Hello peoples, welcome back to Impressions. Now, today's impression video, if you couldn't already tell by the title, is from the new, I guess you could say, a rare game, One Piece Unlimited World Red, which just came out Tuesday, July 8th for PS3, Wii U, 3DS, and PS Vita. Sadly, though, if you're an Xbox 360 user, you're out of luck because that's not coming to 360 anytime soon, I think. Either way, though, so this is pretty much an obscure game that I'm pretty sure only like a few amount of you people actually heard of if you're familiar with the internet or say are really curious in those kind of like niche games that come from Japan or any other country and are available for like a week. Either way, though, I personally was interested in this game because it's One Piece, and you guys already know how much of a big fan I am of One Piece. So I was pretty interested, so I picked it up for the PS3, and yeah, I'm here to give you my impressions on it. So, like I did with the Watch Dogs impression, I'm gonna be giving you a short, a briefing of the story, the gameplay, what I like about this game, what I don't like about this game, what are some interesting things, and whether or not you should pick it up or not. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be really hard to find now because, like I said, this is one of those obscure games that are only out for like a week. And they get really rare about like a month later. So, yeah. Either way, though, so the story. So, I'm going to be giving you, like, I guess you could say an abridged version of the story because, personally, to me, it's kind of hard to follow because of the way the story's ordered. But I think I pretty much know how the story's going to go. Alright, so the story pretty much follows the Straw Hats picking up this raccoon tanuki thing. I have no idea what this is. The game tells us that it's a raccoon. Personally, I think it's a tanuki, but his name is Pado, and later on you'll find out that he has the ability to, I guess you could say, make turn leaves into people. I guess you could say that. Anyway, though, so he asks the Straw Hats to deliver him to his island to meet his boss, or as he first tells the Straw Hats, this person he wants to meet. So they go there, and apparently something strange happens on the island, as in all the Straw Hats, except for Luffy, of course, disappear. And it's up to Luffy and Pado to find them, and they eventually end up at Punk Hazard on the island. Which is really weird because you see the island, it's so nice. And then all of a sudden, somewhere on like some random spot on the island, Punk Hazard's there. It appears out of nowhere, so like this, like the One Piece story goes, Luffy fights Caesar Clown there, and he finds Frankie and Zoro. So basically, the general basis of this game is that the Straws will go through some various places that they've been to, such as, like I said, Punk Hazard, Alabasta, Fishman Island, Enies Lobby, and they'll fight the enemy that corresponds to that area. So, like Fishman Island, Hody Jones, Punk Hazard, Caesar Clown, Enies Lobby, Rob Lucci, and occasionally they will fight some other stronger foes that have no bearing on that area. Like, I remember for it was Fishman Island, you fought not only Hody Jones, but you also fought Whitebeard for some odd reason. And on, I just finished this place. What was this place? What was this place? What was this place? Oh yeah, it was Drum, I think it was Drum Island, the place where Chopper was from. You fight also, Blackbeard, which, yet again, don't know why he's there. But anyway, though, as you progress on with the game, you do find out that Pado is eventually working for one of the most wanted criminals that the show has not mentioned to talk about. This guy called Chris Redfield. I meant Patrick Redfield, Resident Evil. But yeah, so apparently Patrick Redfield is a most wanted criminal, and like all the villains in One Piece, he wants to become King of the Pirates. I mean, I get the whole general basis, the King of the Pirates stuff, but really, can't they give us a villain who wants something more than just becoming King of the Pirates? How about committing mass genocide against the Marines? Because I mean, that it's been done before, but it's not been the villain's true intention. Or how about wiping out the pirates? Because becoming King of the Pirates annoys them. That would be a really interesting thing to do. But yeah, either way though, he betrays Pado, and he reveals that he wants to become King of the Pirates. He uses Pado to draw on the leaves, which makes them become what's it called? Those other people from the One Piece story. Yada yada yada. Either way though, that's pretty much the plot in a nutshell, and it's up to you, the Straw Hats, to stop him. Okay, so that's pretty much the plot, like I said before. Okay, that's good. So that's some good water. Okay, either way though, now time to get into the gameplay. Now, this is one thing that I could not help myself with doing. but I told myself not to compare this game to the Pirate Warriors games because I know that they both had different gameplay styles. One's developed by Namco Bandai or whatever One Piece Unlimited World is developed by. Let me just check that really quickly. Yup, One Piece Namco Bandai. And did I just call it One Piece Namco Bandai? I just meant Namco Bandai, whatever. I don't know. I have One Piece stuck in my head. And the Pirate Warriors games developed by Tecmo Koei, who made the Dynasty Warriors series. So I try my best not to compare those games to each other. And for the most part, I think I did good. But personally, if I had to recommend you Unlimited World Red or Pirate Warriors, I recommend you Pirate Warriors. More on that later. But the pretty much the gameplay of Pirate Warriors goes like this. You're in this area. You have your main hub world, which is Trab Town. I forgot what the town was called. Yeah, it's some kind of weird name, but not weird name, just an unusual name, but I forgot what it's called. Anyway, though, in the town you can do a number of things. You can go to the inn where you can save your game, manage your items, expand the town. More on that later. And then you have the whole entire town to explore. You can talk to some of the citizens because some of the citizens have some things to say, while others give you options on what they want to build. Because getting back to the expansion thing, some certain civilians have an exclamation point in their head with like a red speech bubble. If you talk to them, it could be a number of things. One, they could give you a specific building they want you to build, and you could go to the inn and build it via there, getting materials, but more on materials later. So you could build the buildings the citizens want you to build to I guess you could say beautify your town and just have more shops around there for more business. Or you could play a mini game. Now mini games to me, they're pretty much distractions. I mean, if you do get in the mini game, you could earn some things. You could earn some berry. You could earn items, whether it could be like bugs, fish, just materials in general. So you could do that. You could go to the garden and plant some stuff. But personally, I have not done that at all, and I probably won't be getting into that until I finish the game. And overall, just explore, because I'm not gonna lie though, the game, like when it comes to the hub world's pretty big. And it's really easy to navigate because in the hub world, you're mainly controlling Luffy. Or I think you're only controlling Luffy because I have yet to play as any other Straw Hats in the hub world. But since you're Luffy, you could use Gum Gum Rocket to just rocket yourself around the town. It's really convenient, to be honest, and trust me, it gets the job really done fast. And then, the main chunk of the game. Going from area to area. So, pretty much all you gotta do is head to one specific point. It's always the same point in the town. And then it'll give you an option to either head to a world you've been to before, or the new area that's been available to you in each chapter. So in each world in the chapter, you could basically the main basis to get from point A to point B. But the way each land is, I guess you could say, drawn out is that there's a huge area you can explore. I mean, say point A is like at the bottom of the screen and point B is at the top of the screen. But between point A and point B, there's a huge plot of land with different pathways, mountains. You could go explore beyond the boundaries of the map, or as you could say, the terrain that's drawn on the map. And overall, there's really a lot of exploration there. I mean, you could explore random pathways to find yourself treasure chests to get materials. You could go beat the crap out of some enemies. You could just go explore around, catch bugs, fish, and it really is an exploration-heavy game. But the bad thing though is that how could I say this? That the checkpoints are very scarce, I guess you could say, because certain times when you're exploring each chapter's world, there will be like one or two sections of that world, and in the second section, you have the option to head back to the town via this. I think it's called like a spring plant or whatever it's called. But when you come back to the world, you get spawned somewhere further behind the spring plant, so you have to go traveling back to where you were. And then just progress through there. It's sort of annoying, but to be honest, it's something that I never really found troubling, because whenever I go to a new world, I usually just finish that world in one sitting and I don't head back. I can only recount one time where I did go back, but then again, it was like the second world, so it was really quick to get back to where I was. But yeah, now time to get to the combat. So the combat is, I guess you could say, okay. I mean, it's not as good as the Pirate Warriors games, because I'm not gonna lie, the Pirate Warriors combat was really good. Tecmo Koei knows how to make a good combat system based on what One Piece is. But Unlimited World Red combat is also pretty good, because it does feature a lot of moves from the One Piece world, such as the Gum Gum Gatling, Gum Gum Rocket, Gum Gum Pistol. You get the point. So the attacks range from this. square is light, triangle's medium, and then whenever you're comboing something or in midair, you could press X for, I guess you could say, like a midair combo or an aerial attack. I don't know. But yeah. But to be honest, even though it sounds that simple, it really is that simple. Because you could pretty much just beat almost every enemy in the game with a simple square, 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 square attack. I mean, if you want to get fancy, you can use like a square, triangle, X. But to be honest, you're mostly just going to be finding yourself using the square, square, square attack. Unless you're midair, then you'll most likely be using this X attack. But to be honest, I just stick with the square, square, square attack. Or the light attacks, because it gets the job done. It's really quick. And yeah. And then another problem with that when I have this game. Whenever an enemy's down, you have to wait for them to get up to continue attacking again. You can't just attack them while they're on mid-ground. I don't know if that's like an honor, the thing that's in Japan, or it's just lazy programming. But like, it would have been really easier to take out enemies if you could actually beat the crap out of them while they're downed, rather than having to wait them to get up and then proceed to beat the crap out of them. There are ways for you to beat them up while they're down, obviously, but that's really up to you to find out. I'm not really going to be spoiling on how to beat the enemies faster. Okay, I'm losing myself in this. But yeah, overall, the combat is okay, but to be honest, it really doesn't get more, I guess you could say, into itself than what I just explained. It's really simple. You could beat the game just using the simple attacks. I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I play more of the game, then I'll find more combos with the combat system. But overall, it's really just that simple. And to be honest, the Pirate Warriors combat's way more better. And that's even more simpler, but it's a hell of a lot more convenient and more into it. I'm just blabbering right now. And now you got the boss fights. So, like I said, the boss fights could range from other things. It could range from the main enemy of that world, or just some random pirate that Red has drawn, like Whitebeard and Blackbeard. And the bosses are pretty much the only challenge you'll get during this game. Because, I'm not gonna lie, the enemies are really, really simple. But the bosses could be a bit of a challenge, or they could pretty much just be the easiest thing that the easiest boss fights you'll ever find. Pretty much, this is basically how every boss fight goes. You go to the end of the stage, you counter the boss, attack them if you want. When they get down, move away. They'll do an attack, and you have a chance to counter it. That's another thing I forgot to get into, the counter system. So whenever an enemy's about to attack you, they pretty much leave themselves open for a good 5 seconds, and which will allow you to press a circle button to counter. Whenever you counter an enemy's attack, you have a chance to hit them back, dealing damage in the process. With the bosses, however, that's pretty much their strategy. You attack them, they get down, they do an attack which you can counter the attack, and just attack them. And just repeat that process over and over again until you win. I mean, the bosses later on do get a lot more harder. I could recount myself dying twice from Whitebeard and Blackbeard. But it's only 2 times, and I'm almost halfway done with the game. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but it's just really easy. But I'm not gonna lie though, the boss is pretty much the hardest thing in the game. Enemy's piece of cake. But really, that's just how it goes. And the bosses could, if you know how to the strategy of the bosses, it could be a complete and utter cakewalk with that. I swear, the first boss, Caesar Clown, I defeated within like 5 minutes, I think. It was that easy, and I barely even played the game. I only was playing the game for like 20 minutes. Okay, so either way, though, I know I kind of just gone on and ranted about that, but I will say some legitimately good things about the gameplay, though. Each chapter, world, is at least a good 30 minutes worth of exploration, which is pretty good in my taste. I mean, the worlds are pretty huge in the general area they're in, so there is a lot of exploration to do. And yeah, and finding the enemies could get sort of fun, especially if you really get into the combos and just don't use his basic attacks. It does feel really satisfying to beat the crap out of enemy using like a punch, then a Gum Gum pistol, and then a Gum Gum axe. It could be really satisfying with that. Alright, and there's just one more thing I forgot to say about the game, the general gameplay. Words. Alright, so basically words, I have no idea how this is even possible. Apparently One Piece utilizes the power of literature. The words are pretty much team, I guess you could say, team cooperation during the game. So basically this is how it goes. You find a word in the chest, or you do a little task and you get a word. You equip that word to, let's say Luffy. when Luffy's fighting and he sustains serious damage, a prompt will come up which asks you to press R1 in the PlayStation's case. Wait, I'm about to burp. Wait for it. Oh, whatever. So the R1 prompt comes up, you press it, and then someone else will heal you. It's basically a way for your teammates to cooperate with each other, just so it doesn't feel like you're doing all the work. And it can be really, I guess you could say, intuitive. Like, I like to think of it as the I guess you could say the synthesizing mechanic from the Kingdom Hearts games. Simple in concept, but gets way too convoluted in itself for its own right. I mean, if you just want to go out to the game with only just selecting the words you think are the best, go for it. Plus, you could also upgrade words, which, trust me, it gets a lot more crazier than that. But yeah, comparing it to the synthesizing mechanic in Kingdom Hearts games is really good. But yeah, so words don't also just help you in combat, they also unlock areas that you need to progress through in the game. So normally whenever you're about to fight the boss, you do find a wall which says that you need a word to get past. And normally it tells you, it gives you the task you need to do to get that word, such as beating a group of enemies or beating a specific enemy, and you'll get that word. So there really is just that. Now, another thing I should mention about the game. So, say normally in any other game where it involves you and some teammates, whenever your teammates get hit when you're in control of another character, they will take damage. In Unlimited Worlds Red's case, you are the only one that takes damage, and your teammates are pretty much immune to anything. That is pretty much the main point where I said, why did the programmers not even bother? It makes the game so much more easier, and to be honest, that's really one fault I have with it. It doesn't really make you be strategic. I mean, you could have one character take a lot of the damage, and then switch to another character, and your health will be perfectly fine. But or you could have one of the characters die, and then the other characters will pretty much be full of health, and you could just take them out and probably win with those full health characters. It really does eliminate the difficulty in the game, and it's really one faulting point I have with this game. I'm not saying the game is bad, but it's just really one thing that kind of irks me, and it just asks me, was it that hard for programmers to program? I mean, a lot of other games that done that. Let's see. One game that brings to mind is a game that I don't want to talk about anymore, but Battle of Z. Not only did you take damage, your teammates took damage. Or any of the Dynasty Warriors games for that matter. Like, you take damage, but yet your teammates take damage, and you gotta go help them. But yeah, that's really it. Okay, so I guess I pretty much just went too much into the gameplay. Now, I guess let me talk about the presentation. I mean, almost everything is voice acted. The only things that aren't voice acted I think are the conversations inside the inn. Other than that, everything's voice acted. I say the Japanese voice cast are giving it their all. The characters for Pado and Red are pretty good. And the graphics are, for me, they're hit or miss. I'm not gonna lie, I do like the cel shaded style this game goes for, but sometimes it just gets way too bright. It really does. It really does hurt my eyes with how bright the characters do look sometimes. Especially like in daytime levels. Like, I guess you could say the worst it's gotten was pretty much at Eni's Lobby, where everything is bright and the characters just stand out and they just rape your eyes. I don't know. But like I said, I do like cel shaded graphics. I think they're pretty much the prettiest things we have right now. Like, I do like Wind Waker style, and Unlimited World Red really does remind me a lot of Wind Waker, which is a good thing, by the way, because Wind Waker is a good game. But yeah, other than that, graphics hit or miss, voice acting really good, and then yeah, I guess the only things that I need to talk about is like the little things you could. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I forgot you could do around the town. Little quests. Pretty much, you go back to areas, you collect a few items, and you're done. That's pretty much what quests are, and plus you get pirate points. Yeah, pretty much that's it for the main story, I guess. And now time for the main gimmick of the game, the Colosseum. So, taking a little, I guess, note from what the actual canonical One Piece story is doing, it involves Luffy and Law going to the Colosseum where Doflamingo is having his tournaments, which is actually happening right now during the time I'm recording this, which is the Dressrosa arc. And it pretty much involves Luffy, Law, and some other One Piece characters rising the ranks to fight Law and earn money. That's pretty much it. So you go through a few things, like you fight one-on-one battles, you fight a horde of enemies, and then you got the ranking matches, which basically means you could progress from C to B and then B to A, and then just fight Doflamingo. I only done C to B, and right now I'm currently on B, but overall, I guess you could say it's a nice little distraction. It does really help you with, I guess you could say, learning other characters besides Luffy. Because if you're like me, during the main story, you only use Luffy because he's probably your most powerful character, and you just like the combos he does. So yeah, it's really a nice thing. It's really a nice way to help you get accustomed to the other characters, because you can't just do this by being Luffy alone. You can't go at this like just with Luffy. You have to use like other characters to earn more points, and it really does help you get accustomed to other characters besides your main. So that's really all I find the Colosseum used for. But to be honest though, from what I played, the Colosseum is pathetically easy. I mean, I was versing Usopp with Luffy, and I know that Usopp is wimpy as all hell, as you can see in the anime. But this was time skip Usopp, which has gotten stronger, and has his wide arsenal of plants with him. And yet all he did was just run away, and only attacked me like 2 times. That's really all he did. So yeah, Colosseum, it's easy. It's a nice distraction, pretty much the main selling point of the game. But I don't know. To me, I gotta play more of it. But I think it's pretty fun. And yeah, I guess that's really the only thing I gotta talk. Oh wait, I forgot to mention one thing. Character special abilities. So each character has their own special ability throughout combat. What do I mean by that? Well, it could range from a variety of different situations. So say you have a guy with a cannon, and he shoots the cannon at Luffy. You could use Luffy's Gum Gum Balloon to deflect it, but only Luffy could do that. Whenever you see an arm bar, Zoro could cut through it. Whenever an enemy's down, Nami could steal through them. Robin could read the poneglyphs. Chopper could dig underground. Usopp could spray bug repellent, etc. Yeah. So it also does encourage backtracking to earn what's it called? To go and find these places to earn trophies and stuff like that. Yeah, that's really all it's used for. And I keep forgetting stuff to talk about. Materials. So whenever you beat an enemy or beat an object, you will get a material like a wood block, junk, metal. Yeah, those materials are used for upgrading the town, giving to some people just for the hell of it. Yeah, that's really all it's used for. So I pretty much talked about everything I need to talk about this game. So do I think this game is worth the price tag it is now? In terms of the game quality itself, because I'm pretty sure there are people who like this kind of game, like the whole like idea of exploration and the simplified combat. So for them, I'd say I would buy it. I mean, if you don't mind Japanese voice acting and what's it called, One Piece, then I'd buy it. But for those people who are, I guess you could say, looking for other games besides this kind of genre, then nah. But to be honest, if I had to recommend a One Piece game, like I said earlier, I recommend the Pirate Warriors games, because to me they're a lot more action packed, and they're the kind of gameplay I really think that fit the One Piece style. Other than that though, I'd say this game is yeah, I'm just gonna go with Like, to be like, in terms of what I said before, yeah, I say but if you're one of those people who know about these niche games that become way more pricey and rare, like Xenoblade Chronicles, which I managed to buy, yeah, or One Piece Unlimited World Red, or Pandora's Tower, or The Last Story, I would pick it up, because in about, I'd say, I'd give it about a year, then this game is gonna reach prices beyond than you could think. At least over $100 just to buy one copy, maybe even over $60 for a used game, but yeah. But so for me, I'd say it's pretty hit or miss, but I'd say my experiences with the game are so far good. I mean, there's never really been a time where I will rage legitimately, but there have been a few times which kind of irked me with its programming, its easiness. So yeah, I'd say buy the game if you want. I'm not gonna say this is the best game ever, so you have to buy it immediately. But I'd say look up a Let's Play if you want. Watch this video to hear my opinions, even though you pretty much already did. So yeah. I'd say buy it if you want. I'm not saying this is like the best game ever of 2014, but it's okay. Not the greatest game, not the worst game, but it's okay. Anyway though, if you like this impressions video, like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So, peace out peoples, and bye-bye. Okay, and I forgot to mention one more thing after I ended the video. The soundtrack. It's really forgettable. I mean, the only 2 tracks I remember is the main theme from the trailers and the town theme, blah. Other than that, the game soundtrack is really forgettable, though. I mean, I do listen to hum to like some One Piece songs, like the openings and some tracks from the actual show in my mind once in a while. Even some things from the Pirate Warriors games, because I remember those even more. But yeah, the last thing I remember, soundtrack is forgettable. Yeah, so now the video ends right now.